Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Community Build Reviews. Today I am joined by Kinch, who is wanting to make a Quarterstaff build for Endgame. So we are going to look at the build he has made. So you want me to just start with the feats? And just go from there?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me slap over that. Class and levels, yes. Okay, I'm there. I wasn't sure where to start. I figured Rogue always start first, load up your skills, but I wasn't sure of the sequence, so I'm not married to any of the, Monk at 5, 6, 7 versus 3, 2, and 9, whatever.
Okay, so the first thing I see is you want to be lawful neutral.
Okay.
It's the first thing I see. The reason you want to be lawful neutral is because if you're lawful good, then enemies that cast Unholy Blight will deal double damage to you. And there is a lot of enemies, especially for leveling, that cast Unholy Blight. And it will, especially if you run ToE and Heroics, it will probably two-shot you if you don't have enough hit points because of how much damage it does to good targets. The ideal scenario is you would be chaotic neutral, but you have monk levels, so you cannot be chaotic. But in general, the closer you are to chaotic neutral, the better.
I got it. What about the race? I was trying to load up on strength, but I didn't. I'm not familiar enough with Dompier to monkey around with it, so I just went. My thinking was Warforged because, a shot at self-healing.
Do you have any repair? No. Dragon Lord's your only healing, it looks like. So, do you have your past lives input? Yeah, you do. Okay, then I don't need to ask about the past lives. So, I would say for race, either Dampier or Tabaxi Trailblazer.
What's your preference?
Well, not Warforged, because Warforged you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot because of how bad docents are at endgame.
Okay.
Docents have really, really bad stats, and they also have basically no max dex. Oh, no, you didn't take a body plating feat. Okay, then I guess it's not the end of the world. I would still probably go... Well, are you... Let me ask you this. Are you wanting to solo?
You mean solo Reaper at the end? I've never done that before. I solo while I level just because my calendar is messed up, and I never know when I'm logging on.
Well, I guess let me ask you this. Would you rather have crowd control from and movement speed, or would you rather have immunity to all status effects from your race?
I think I'd probably prefer the crowd control, just because if I'm not a healer, I'd rather just slash everything that gets anywhere near me, and if I can slow it or hold it.
Okay, that makes sense. Then we're going to swap the race to Tabaxi Trailblazer.
Okay.
Which also means that I'm assuming you don't... I'm not going to make you use a +1 heart, so I'm going to swap out one of the monk levels, or swap out some of the monk levels for rogue levels and move the level 1 level to a monk.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to use a +1 heart. So I've changed your build split. So now...
I mean, I have +1s. Like, I'm sitting on hearts, left, right, and center. I've got +20s. I've been playing since 2010. So, if you think the build benefits from using a heart, I'm fine.
No, in this case, there's zero reason to. There's just no reason.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I swapped out your levels to 12 Dragon Lord and 2 Rogue. I'm not sure if I took them at the right places because it looks like some feats got reset, which leads me to believe that Bab prereqs were reset, but maybe not. So I'm checking that. So you took Power Attack. Is that because you were going to run Power Attack, or were you taking it as a prereq for Cleave? and great cleave.
I was thinking about cleave and great cleave just because I'm swinging around and trying to get around as much. And I was going to ask you about that. I didn't know. Am I saying goodbye to something better? Right. So
My opinion, precision is just better for endgame because it gives you
okay,
25% fort bypass and 5% to hit, which in my opinion is more useful.
okay,
However, the cleave feats, I don't remember what their animation are on Quarterstaff, I'd have to check, but I do know that after the change, the cleave feats, if you have spare feats, are good on basically every build because of the crit range of multi they give. So I'm just fixing your feats now. Do you have Lamortia, as in you could take a dark gift?
yeah, I do.
Okay, then... is this build MRR capped? No, it is
I don't
not.
know the answer.
This build also looks like gear is not complete. I'm just gonna put in Form of Pain because it's generally a safe choice for melees because it gives you PRR and MRR and the downside is very minor.
Okay.
Just looking. I don't think you need Whirlwind Attack because you already have Cleave and Great Cleave, and I think those are probably all you need, as well as having Strike Through. So you probably don't need those, I would suspect. I've just changed your level up order a bit, so that way the feats line up more.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing, or do you want me to just send it to you?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I can do that.
Let me swap over to Discord. Okay.
For level 9, take improved two-handed fighting, and then here.
I don't see the shared screen. Did you send it?
It's in the channel. Yeah, you should.
Share your screen. Wait a second. There it is. Maybe? No, not yet. Watch stream?
Yeah, watch stream.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. I was looking for a notification because I'm an old.
That's fine. So I've just changed around the leveling order a bit to make the feats line up better. It's really the only thing. Actually, now that I think about it, this should probably be brute clip bludgeoning, and then this should probably be two-handed fighting. And you take the deflect arrows feat. However, Tabaxi Trailblazer gets deflect arrows, so you don't need deflect arrows. And I don't know what other feat. Oh, weapon finesse. I would actually take weapon finesse because it gives you 2 to hit and 10% fort bypass, which is very helpful for endgame. And I guess leveling too. And then here you can take... I didn't already take it. Great Cleave. And at this level, I would take Tactical Combatant and probably Weapon Specialization. And here, you can take Master of Forms to improve your monk stances. Sorry, I'm gonna...
Hey.
What was your question?
I was going to ask about your preferred air stance. Like I've always used, or monk stance. I always use air just because it gives me a little bit more speed. But I've played with earth before for a little more uh, toughness. But do you have a preference?
For DPS, go fire. Otherwise, go ocean. Although since you're strength based, probably fire. Also, I will just tell you that you took the wrong Dragon Lord feat. So at the level 1 you
Yeah.
don't want to take Nevalar, it's just hunger, because
Okay.
it's a morale bonus, which means it doesn't
Mm,
stack with greater heroism, which you should have in your gear
right.
set. So you should instead take Tharixada's Instinct because this is a morale bonus to tactics DCs, and there's
Yeah.
no other way in the game to get morale bonus to tactics, meaning this stacks with everything.
Okay. Got it.
And then the same thing for Sinvala's Toughness. Well, I mean, actually, not. I guess not as much. Technically, there's no other way to get the morale PRR. I still recommend taking Vela's Fury for just because damage for DPS characters is more important. Also, I think
Just to shamelessly plug one of your other videos. Um, Thanks for that one on quarterstaffs because I just watched that and then I had pretty much everything already. I went and farmed something. Oh, the bloom. As it turns out, that's an easy one to farm.
yeah, it
Just run
is.
straight down, kill the dragon, straight down, kill the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it in like 3 tries.
All right, so if you saw, I swapped out your weapon focus for Master of Forms. That way you could fit in the max level Monk Stance in Heroic, and also fit in Tactical Master level 20. The means you gave up a weapon specialization, which is a good feat. The main issue is it's a lot. It costs a feat for a small bonus. So if you can fit him in, you can. But I feel like getting the tactics DCs and the monk stances is more important. Alright, and then I always recommend to people level 21, regardless of their build, to take Eerie Aim first. And the reason I recommend Eerie Aim first is because some enemies and epics in certain adventure packs have insanely high AC to the point where they're rivaling endgame monsters' AC, and you really need Eerie Aim to be able to run those quests. Good example is Sands. The bosses in Sands have over 200 AC probably.
Right.
So I always like taking Eerie Aim because the biggest thing a DPS character can have for DPS is to always hit. So the more to hit you have, the better, because at least my experience with leveling is especially the early epic quests, a lot of them you're not always hitting some of the monsters, so I just like taking the to hit first.
Nice. Thank you.
Perfect two-handed is good. Discipline is, I assume you took it for Grandmaster Flowers, but there's better stuff, so we're going to take Overwhelming Critical there. Crush Weakness, I actually would take Double Strike first, because Double Strike is, at least I believe it's a bigger bonus, because it always helps you. 10 PRR, I feel like you're probably better off taking Epic Reflexes first. And instead of Elusive Target here, take Embodiment of Law. Because Embodiment of Law gives you the Imbued Ice and you want the damage. You don't need defenses yet. At level 30, now we can take the Epic Damage Reduction. And for the Legendary feat, Scion of the Astral Plane is basically exclusively bad. On 99% of DPS characters, you want to take Scion of Arborea.
Okay.
And then level 31. Are you in Legendary Dreadnought?
I might be. I was just playing around. I wasn't married to Epic Destinies.
Okay, then I actually surprisingly would recommend taking Tactician, because if you take Tactician, it will double the amount of to hit you get out of an ability in Dreadnought, meaning that you get the tactics DCs and more to hit, and I'm guessing that you're going to have to hit issues. Also, blinding speed is basically exclusively terrible, so I advise to never take it. So in this space, I think this is appropriate to put weapon focus bludgeoning. And then deific warding is not bad. Do you have a heart shard?
I don't think so.
Okay, then you almost certainly want to take the Titan's Blood feat, because it gives you a legendary bonus to maximum HP, and unless you have a Mithranor shield, the Set Og, or a Heart Shard, you can't get this bonus anywhere else.
Let me take a quick peek. I'm gonna flip over. My screen's not on the broadcast. Let me just take.
No, it's not.
I can't tell from the data dump I did from Dungeon Helper.
Well, then we will just assume that you don't have it because it's a rare item from Lamordia, so you probably don't have it unless you farmed it.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so this is probably what I would do with the feats. An argument could be made to take more of the weapon focus and specialization feats, but I think it's probably fine. So, first off, how many Reaper points do you have? Let's just get that out of the way.
Take a look. Reaper, I think I've got. I don't have. Maybe 18 on this build, this particular one.
18?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on a second. Let me log in real quick. I'll tell you exactly what's on there.
Okay.
I'm on loading screen. Hold on a second. There's Kinch. Okay. $43. My bad. 18's on one of my others. One of my alts. I have 43.
Yep. Well, I'm showing you how I would spend the Reaper points. So, every build, no matter what, for the most part, the first 21 points you want to spend, you always want to spend them in Grim Barricade because of this ability here, Reaper's Defense 4, which gives you 100 hit points out of Reaper mode and in Reaper mode.
Okay.
And then I also, since you have 43, I also am going to tell you to take one rank in all three of the active abilities in this Reaper tree, because every time you take the first rank of a Reaper ability, it gives you a Reaper charge. So that also means we're going to come over here to Dire Thaumaturge and take the Reaper's power here. You're never going to press these. You're taking them because you want to get extra charges of this Reaper's Strike, which gives you 30% double strike for 30 seconds. Which is really the only thing you want. In general, the Reaper abilities are not good. This Reaper's Strike is pretty much the best one. Oh, I've overspent. Okay, there's your Reaper points. Your next Reaper points you get, spend them in Dread Adversary and try to get Reaper's Imbuement and Reaper's Deadly Strikes 1 rank to get the extra charge, but you obviously have to get the Reaper points for that. Alright, so now we're going to look at the enhancements. So now you're at Max Trailblazer. You want to take the cores, even though they're not strength. You want to take them because this last core cores give dodge bypass as well as max dodge and extra dodge, which is good. You're gonna want to take sneak attack die, deflect arrows. I like high places because if you remember to proc this, you can get free 25% armor piercing. If you stand on anything with any amount of height and you have max jump and you jump down to a lower something at a lower height, you will always get this buff. If you have Featherfall. You have to have Featherfall as well. Staff deflection gives you double strike when deflect arrows triggers if you're holding a quarterstaff. Sneak attack dice, focused agility gives you more movement speed. I also would take Wayfinder's weapons just because quarterstaffs break while leveling. You don't need this at endgame if you use an endgame quarterstaff, but all the quarterstaffs for leveling break. And then I would probably just take the to hit. Alright, and then in the tier 4, you want to take Fast Sprinter for the movement speed. You want to take Springing Pounce. This Springing Pounce gives you the spring attack feat. So you have a dash. However, when you use spring attack, it's going to proc your feline agility, which is your 30% action boost bonus to movement speed that lasts 18 seconds. And since spring attack has a 20-second cooldown, that means that Fast Sprinter feline agility has almost full uptime if you use this on cooldown. So you go really fast.
Nice.
And then lastly, you want to take Wide Sweep. It is a 6-second cooldown ability that's a frontal cleave that trips enemies. It says it has a save. It doesn't actually have a save. Enemies always fail to save. So this will always land, and there's no save to get up either. Enemies will always be tripped. So that's why Trivax Trailblazer is basically the best race for quarterstaff builds, is because this ability is insane. And then
Nice.
you have 1 extra point, so I'd probably just take extra to hit. Alright, rest of your enhancements. So first off, I'm going to reset Harper. There's no reason to be in Harper. You're not intelligence based. Realistically, there's no reason to be in Thief Acrobat because you can just take the attack speed and henshin. We'll do that. So let me just spend this. So Exemplar gives attack speed with quarterstaffs, and Thief Acrobatics gives attack speed with quarterstaffs. You can't have them at the same time, but you only need one of them. I also would cut this and this. You want the core. Probably don't want that. That's just a waste of points. Oh, and in Dragon Lord, you didn't take the defensive line. You really should take that, so I'll just fix that in Dragon Lord. Also, you took the white dragon, so I actually recommend black or red. Red is if you can use Sunder to strip immunity, but you're a quarterstaff build and Sunder animation on quarterstaff's bad. So I recommend you would take acid because less enemies are immune or resistant to acid than the other types. So that means enemies are more likely to be able to be damaged by that. And with this point spread, we end up getting all the good stuff, and we don't waste points on stuff like Lead the Charge, which is not very good. And we also, in Tier 5, since we took this line of resistance and absorption versus acid, we get Soul Scales, which gives 15 MRR and 25% confidence bonus to max HP. So we can take everything in the Tier 5, because Tier 5 Dragon Lord's good. And what now? So we're gonna swap out Assassin. We're gonna put Assassin in here. The reason I took 2 rogue levels is because of this. So 2 rogue levels gets you an Assassin. You can pick up 1 sneak attack die and 3 imbue dice with toxic affinity, which is a good use of your points. I also think you should swap in the Ravager tree. Because of the Ravager tree, you can take this, which gives extra action boost charges, and this core gives 5 melee power. I know I've cut a lot of your defenses from the build, which is why if you go into Ninja Spy, I'm going to recommend you take the sneak attack, damage, but also subtlety. The reason I recommend subtlety is because it reduces your threat gen and you don't want to pull aggro. That's like the last thing you want to do. Pulling aggro is very bad. However, there is one cool thing in Ninja Spy, and that is Shadow Veil. So Shadow Veil, as an ability, is both good and bad. It gives you a permanent 25% incorporeality as long as you activate the ability. Once you go to like Reaper 5, I think it is. 5? Reaper 4, Reaper 5. The 25% incorporeal becomes 0. It gets reduced by Reaper mode. However, if you do old raids, i.e. raids that are older than Skeletons in the Closet, so
Yeah.
Project Nemesis, Master Artificer, Lord of Blades, stuff like that, the raid bosses don't actually have Ghost Touch, meaning that they actually can miss you with Incorporeal. So if you run those raids on like Hard or Reaper 1, then this will actually give you some defense against them. Also, generally, raid monsters don't have Ghost Touch. Even in the modern raids, it's generally only the bosses that have the Ghost Touch. So situationally, this ability is very, very strong, and it's more so useful in raids, but I guess it's technically not useful in like Reaper 10s, which I guess kind of stinks, but it also gives you invisibility, but I mean, it's mostly just for raids. I mean, do you think that's a good choice? Because I assume you're not running like Reaper 5 raids.
I rarely do. I mean, it's whatever the group is running, I'll tag along. I'm not running raids. I mean, I'm not, leading raids.
Right.
I don't mind getting killed if I'm, behind quarter and somebody just resing me occasionally. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I don't see a lot of Reaper 5 or 10 raids in my daily gaming. It's like once, maybe twice a month.
Well, I mean, if you want to try to survive more in Hard and Reaper 1 raids, then this is one of the best abilities in the entire game for that. Because a lot of the things that kill you in raids are like big one shots. So like, for example, in Lord of Blades, when he does his Superman leap, if you're standing where he lands, he does like 1 billion damage. But if he doesn't have Ghost Touch, meaning he can actually just straight up miss you because of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Also,
I mean, certainly,
this ability is basically free.
Good.
It lasts a minute and has a 6-second cooldown. It only costs 15 ki. It's never a worry about proccing it.
Yeah, you got it.
Last points. What would I do? Just occurred to me that I cut out Quick Strike, which is not ideal. Well, I set up the points to where you don't have any place to spend your universal action points. That was really smart.
I mean, that's why Harper was there, just and then just out of habit.
Yeah. We can... Okay, well, if we reset Ninja Spy and instead put Astani Knife Fighter, we can pick up 25% Neg Absorb, 3 PR and MRR, Undead, Favorite Enemy, and then we can also pick up Will Saves, more PR and MRR, Balance, Jump, Tumble, then here we can pick up Double Strike. 5% Double Strike. So, then... we can pick up 20 PRR from Shintao, I think is a good idea. Just looking if there's anywhere to cut points. No. Not a huge fan of this enhancement point split, but I also don't hate it. So you get Quick Strike, which is your double strike. You end up getting a lot of double strike from this enhancement point split. Bonus hit and damage is low. Not a huge fan of. Not sure how I would fix that. Now that I think about it... Yeah. I think I'm going to reset Assassin. Give up on the Imbue dice, which is admittedly good. Also going to swap this to Way the Patient Tortoise. Not take Henshin Mystic Training 1. And then take Shintao Studies those 3. And do that. Because now we can pick up Jade Strike. Which Jade Strike is... What it does is on crit, you have a... If the enemies fail a save, they become encased in Jade. But the bigger thing is...
Yeah, I've used that before on monk builds. I've loved it.
It applies a debuff to enemies that increases their vulnerability to physical damage by 10% and reduces their fortification by 25%. So even though you're a Quarterstaff build and your raid DPS is shit, this one ability is going to make you useful because it is a unique debuff that, unless there's another monk in the party, they won't have. And Jade Strike is incredibly strong as a debuff because of its unique. Because it's unique. And then also in the cores, you can just pick up these cores, and every single core in Shintao gives you 10 healing amp, so you'll be able to heal yourself better, and you'll be able to also be healed better. Wait, now that I think about it, you don't even need the Henshin Imbue because you already have Dragonlord Imbues, so I can cut those points, and instead, I would so, do you do more raiding or do you do more like questing?
At endgame, I'll join anybody's raid. There's, you know, Abro and hippies. So I do probably during the week and the non-raid stuff, I'll just go farming gear that I need for, you know, any of my 3 builds, my primary or my 2 alts. So raids on weekends and regular stuff through the week.
Alright, then I'd recommend you take Knock on the Sky. What Knock on the Sky does, it's a 3-second cooldown ability that hits a single enemy, but it reduces the physical damage dealt by that enemy by 4%. It stacks 5 times. For a maximum debuff of 20% less physical damage, this works on raid bosses, and this will lower their damage by 20%.
I love it.
Which means that it's going to be easier for both you and all the other melees to survive the boss from their physical attacks.
Without pulling the aggro too.
Yeah, it doesn't generate aggro. And I think the enhancements are good. I mean, I don't like how there's 19 points in Shintao, but I feel like you kind of really need the damage from Shintao. So, Epic Destinies. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on this. This is.
I'm not married to those. That was the last thing I was playing around with. So, that is a rough draft.
So you generally don't want Unyielding Sentinel because you're not a shield user. It's good on like Vanguard, but you're not a shield user, so I would avoid it. I instead think you should do Divine Crusader, believe it or not. Reason for Divine Crusader is because in Tier 5 Divine Crusader, there's this thing called Law of the Divine, which is when you have the embodiment of Law feat, you deal 1d6 Law damage per epic or legendary level you have scaling with 200% melee range power. You have the embodiment of Law feat, and this ability is basically the equivalent of getting 14 imbue dice, except no enemy in the game resists the damage, meaning that this is an incredibly broken thing in a tier 5. Like, most of the tier 5s are pretty insane. This one ability makes Divine Crusader on paper the best tier 5 for DPS characters. It's that good. So if you're lawful and you take Embodiment of Law and you're using a weapon that can be favored, in my opinion, there's no reason to not take tier 5 Divine Crusader because Law of the Divine is so insane. So then that means that...
Nice.
So
I've not done this. I've not had that combination line up before, so this is great.
And then I'd probably swap out Legendary Dreadnought for... Well, okay. Dreadnought, if we swap out Dreadnought, we'd lower your defenses, but we'd get you more damage. So which would you prefer?
I'll probably take more damage.
Okay,
To be honest with you.
we swap out Dreadnought, we can put in Shadow Dancer, which also means we want to swap out the Tactician feat. However, if we swap out the Tactician feat, we can just take Legendary Toughness for 100 hit points, which is good. Alright, and then in Shadow Dancer, every core in Shadow Dancer gives sneak attack dice, which is good. And then also this, you also get Dimension Door, which is good. You also get dodge bypass from this ability. And in the tier 1, you can take 30% less threat gen as well as permanent night shield. So now you don't have to use a night shield clicky like the Cranium Sphere. Reflex saves, and then here you can take sneak attack dice. And you can take, I guess, armor class and reflex saves. And then here you can take double strike and immunity to energy drain. Fortification bypass. Guess we'll just finish that. And oh, were you leveling up the trapping skills, or? I think actually with this build, I think trapping would be too difficult because you only have 2 levels and fighter only gets 2 skill points. So I think trapping is probably not really possible.
I don't think I was spending a ton on them. A little bit here and there, but I could easily dump out of there. But a lot of the other skills were maxed as I was going up, so I was just throwing points around.
Well, the skills are totally messed up because I redid your leveling order, so
Yeah.
I probably am not going to take a look at the skills unless you want me to, but I would suspect you could probably figure out what to do with the skills.
Yeah, I can figure it out.
I would just say don't spend it on trapping. Maybe take Open Lock. Open Lock is probably fine, but with your class split, you're not going to have enough skill points to max out Spot, Search, and Disable Device, which means at endgame your trapping skills would not be very good. Also, you're not intelligence based, so you'd have a very difficult time doing traps.
So how much should I throw into UMD, you think?
So my advice is for Tumble,
Yeah.
you want 20 ranks in Tumble, because that gets you 2 Tumble charges. You want to max out UMD. And then, aside from that, it looks like your main healing ability is Second Wind. I don't think you have any other heals. The Second Wind is pretty good. So I would probably advise going for, like, Balance, Swim. You don't need Jump because you're strength-based.
Concentration because it's a monk.
I mean, yes, but not really, because you don't have any abilities that really cost any key.
Gotcha.
I mean, okay, you have a couple abilities that cost key, but they don't cost very much. You're gonna have more key than you know what to do with. So not necessarily.
So balance then? over concentration.
I would take balance because it makes it so you can get up from trips.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then here in Divine Crusader, the cores give you hit points and melee range power. This core makes your weapons immune to durability damage, which means we can... Oh, whoops. Which means that we can cut Wayfinder's weapons out of Trailblazer, and instead, I guess, just take Escape Artist, which gives you Incorporeal and Concealment for 20 seconds when you tumble. I don't think it stacks. I should just take the hit. It's better. Here in Divine Crusader, you can take to hit and damage. I would probably take... You could take the smiting, but you're not a paladin, so you're not really going to have enough smites. So I'd probably just take this. It doesn't do anything. You just need to get 1 more point spent. This gives you immune to durability damage on your weapons and 3-wall saves. Take the Divine Crusader Mantle because it makes your base attack bonus equal to your character level. So I'm just curious, what is your BAB right now? It's 22, so you'll go to 25 BAB. It also gives you your alignment for DR purposes, so you're going to get lawful DR bypass. I don't know if there's any enemies in the game with lawful DR, but there's that. And then here you can take 50% fortification, which is good because enemies, especially in Lemordian Myth, have a lot of fort bypass, so you want to get a lot of fortification. Weather Any Blow gives you AC, PRR, and healing amp, so that's good. You're going to take the Mantle upgrade, as well as you're going to take Orion's Blessing, because that makes Quarterstaff's favorite weapon. And then Strike the Poise gets you 3 to the Enhancement bonus to your weapon if it's favored, as well as 1 W and it's a spellcasting implement, so that's all good stuff. I like taking How Dare You Strike Me, because what this does is when you're hit below 50% hit points, you're going to consecrate the ground, and that will heal you and other people. It says it has a 2-minute cooldown. It doesn't actually have a 2-minute cooldown. It has no cooldown, meaning that every single time you get hit, you consecrate. So if you keep getting hit below 50%, you're probably going to have multiple consecrations going, which might save you, or might save someone else.
I think somebody was talking about that in game not too long ago. It was probably you.
It's a very strong ability because it's bugged, and if it wasn't bugged, it'd be crap. So, then just take the last rank and bulk up, so we get more fort. Take the core, take the double strike. Heavenly Presence gives you 10 PRR and 10% acid cold and electric absorb. And immunity to petrification, I have been told, makes you immune to grip in Relentless and the Curse of Strahd. That's what I've been told. So petrification immunity is, in this case, good for raiding. Probably take this for True Seeing and Blindness immunity, so if we don't have it in the gear set, it's fine. And then here we can take Critical Hit, we can take Seeker. Then in the tier 5, you want to take Bring Down Wrath, because when you crit, you apply a stack of vulnerability and armor destruction to the target. So that means you can apply more debuffs. Law of the Divine, when using a favorite weapon, crit multi. And then Beckon Divinity for saving your raid. Give me a sec, I need to check something. Okay, yep. So this Beckon Divinity also gives 2% double strike as well. It's not in the tooltip, it just gives 2% double strike. So that'll help with that. And then here over in Fury of the Wild, we're gonna reset this. We're gonna take Quick Cutter, because Quick Cutter is really good. You could take Adrenaline, but then your Reaper 10 clear speed would be crap. So I just like Quick Cutter. You actually want to take 1 rank in the Mantle of Fury. You're not going to run it. I'll get into why you want to take that. Primal Scream for the buff that gives you strength. Gird Against Demons for Cold Iron Bypass. And the reason you want to take the Mantle of Fury is because it gives you able to take 2 ranks of Sense Weakness, which gives you 4% Fortification Bypass, and that doesn't require being in the Mantle. Alright, and in Fear of the Wild, you want to take Spirit of the Beast, because this will increase the damage of Quick Cutter as well as giving you more to hit. And then you also can take Double Strike here for more Double Strike. Take PRR, Be the Whirlwind, and then here, Primal Force. If you take 1 rank, that increases the damage of Quick Cutter further. And then here, Unquenchable Rage. If you take 3 ranks of Unquenchable Rage, then Primal Scream will heal you for a bunch of... It will give you the heal spell scaling with melee power, meaning that it's a very powerful heal. So...
Nice.
Also, Quick Cutter gives you permanent 6% uncapped dodge that ignores dodge caps. This also helps with defense. So, how do you feel about these Epic Destinies?
This sounds fun. Yeah, I was going to take Kinch up and just tank for a while, but now I think I'm going to go ahead and try this build. He's in his mid-20s right now. I can just do a TR and give this a shot. What about gear? I just threw in things that I thought might appeal to the strength builds, but I hadn't filled out all the Lamortia stuff, and that's the thing with Lamortia. You got to farm your life away getting the mats to make. Oh my god!
So I would probably recommend for Quarterstaff. Conduct is not bad. The main issue is that Conduct in reality only has 2 effects that actually do anything. Because Shocking Blast and Electric Storm at endgame effectively do 0 damage. So that's kind of an issue. So I would instead recommend... I mean, Quarterstaff in the Undying Age is good, as well as Cataclysmic from Lamortia, but those are both kind of a pain. I mean, if you don't want to farm out on Undying Age, then Conduct is the play, but Conduct would be what I would recommend. Or, I mean... Undying Age is what I would recommend.
Okay, and I have those glasses from the university, so I can make the messed up gear on that little hidden altar.
You're not going to make any of that stuff. That stuff's pretty much all crap.
Okay, and then I've got Cirith as well.
So Cirith is good if you have like, I think it's like over 200 to damage or something like that, but I don't think you're gonna hit. I don't think you're gonna hit that. So.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna do augments for the build, but I will, put in gear that I think would be good. Do you have any set augments from raids?
Which ones? I've got a bunch. Which ones are you thinking about?
I mean, the obvious ones would be like Truthful Blow. You could get Quick Blade out of the Draconic Raiders reward boxes. Dusk Raider from Strahd. Perfect Silence from Baba. Imbued Infusion from Skellies.
Are those? I've got a ton of runes. Are those things I can get through the runes?
All of
Or
those
do I
things are
have to...
all of those are things you can get for runes. You need 3 copies of the items though, so you need enough runes for 3 items.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then I don't have triplicates.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise because the set augments are kind of difficult to get. The build would work without set augs, it's just set augs to make it better. Do you want me to like make the gear set assuming set augments, or would you rather not? I'm good either way.
Assume no set augments, just because that way I can run it. While I farm those set augments through
Okay, that's fine. So,
weeks and months ahead.
on any physical DPS character, I recommend people run the Mind and Matter set. And especially on Monk, it's basically mandatory, at least in my opinion. So it's a double ring set. The set bonus gives 30 artifact PRR and MRR, as well as 30 artifact MRR cap. The Tumbleweed ring gives you Insightful Dexterity, Exceptional Nimble Skills, Accuracy, and Deadly, meaning that this item gives you both your accuracy and your deadly stats. And then the Omniscience ring gives you Shield bonus to AC, Riposte, which is Insight bonus to AC and saves, Resistance bonus to all saves, and Fortification 148%. Meaning that this is an incredible defensive item. So with this one swap, your now MRR cap is 80, and your PRR is higher. So. Gloves of the Strong. I think the play would be to run a Vecna 5-piece. I think that's the play, because you don't want set augments. So that means that you can do Legendary Absorption Gauntlet, and we'll swap out the Grievous Seasons Warding because you already get the Fire Absorb, which is the main one, and we will put in Steel Toad Steps, gives you Insightful Strength and Quality Combat Mastery. So now we're at 2 Vecna items. I don't know why you put the Tangle of Wires, because this is a that is not a, you're not a Warforged. So here I will put in the University Bulwarks Robe, Lost Purpose, Devil's Infernal Dance. And then here you can put the University Sentry's Helm, which gives you natural armor as well as Insightful Fortification. Insightful Fortification is very good. You want that. Oh, your fort is... Oh, it's the Battle Rage of Bracers. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We can put Lost Purpose on, or Devil's Infernal Dance on this. And for your cloak, you can put the what? Weird. What? The heck? It's weird. The University Duelist Cloak for quality accuracy, quality deadly, insightful armor piercing, and insightful double strike. This also completes the Devil's Infernal Dance set, which gives you +3 artifact bonus to all ability scores, 15% artifact double strike, 30% artifact fort bypass, and 15% artifact melee power. Before I look at the gear more, I'm going to turn on your stances. So you're in Might and Order, you're in the Holy Mantle, you have this, you're in Sun Stance. I would say for the DPS, Precision, Primal Scream, Chant Weapon, Asmar's Courage. Okay. Alright, so that's good. Now you're up to 200 PRR, and your double strike is 91% without a double strike item. Melee power is admittedly low, but we haven't done filigrees yet. So I would swap out the War Rune Pendant for the Blade Mark Amulet, because it gives Profane Life Force and Insightful PRR. And with that, Insightful PRR there, and the gloves have Insightful MRR, that means that you have both Insightful PRR and MRR. So now your PRR is 223. Need one more item. Well, here I would put Agartha's Belt, because Agartha's Belt gives you Strength 15, Quality Strength 3, and Ram's Might, which is all very good stuff to have. And then in the Lunar slot, you can put, guess the Lunar Gem of Melee Power. And it occurs to me that you need an artifact, and I think Rock Hards is a good choice. You don't get the Insightful Armor Piercing. However, with this slot, you can put in Insightful Constitution. In the Moon slot, you can put in a Lunar Gem of Guess Healing Amp is fine. So are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So this item slot is going to be basically a dead slot, but since we're not running set augments, that's just how it is. You can't fit good stuff in every slot, so just have to do. I'd probably run the Mystic Monocle because it gives UMD and exceptional alluring skills, which is like theoretically might be useful. Not really, but okay. So now you have 2,700 hit points and 214 PRR and 82 strength before filigrees, which is not great, but also not the end of the world. And then you're gonna obviously slot a Topaz of Melee Power 10. The level 32 one doesn't exist. So now you have 233 Melee Power. Currently at 175 to hit and 170 to damage. Both not too terrible, now that I think about it. Still have this item left. So you did put in a heart shard, but you said you didn't have one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think I have one. I've looked.
I mean, the heart shard is a very good choice. Thing is, it's kind of a bitch to farm, so don't really think I want to tell you to farm it if you don't already have one.
You know what? I got nothing but time. What quest is it on?
Snowfall and Sunlight. I mean, if you can get one, that'd be the ideal scenario.
Okay, put it there. I'll go farm it.
Right.
I've got two that are maxed out already.
Because in this slot, you can put in Constitution and Quality Constitution, and in this accessory slot, you can put in Stunning. And in this Sun slot, I would put probably Since you're not running set aug's, probably a solar gem of imbuement. If you ran set aug's, you'd run that as a set aug instead. Your imbue dice is still crap. Your sneak attack dice is still crap, but that's just the nature of this kind of. This is just how. Oh, also didn't fit in any deception items. Ugh. Oh boy. This gear set is unsurprisingly not going to get you every stat. It's not really anything I can do about it, sadly. I mean, I can swap out quality constitution for deception, which is gonna be probably better. Okay, now you have over 3,000 hit points, and in the quiver, put in an epic quiver of alacrity for the insightful sneak attack damage. So now you're.
It's like a negative 50 to concentration.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
On melee monk, you have infinite ki, and you also don't have very many abilities that cost ki. So as long as you're attacking stuff, you'll have infinite ki, even with the 50 concentration.
Okay, fine.
And one thing that you have to have is you have to have an Essence of the Dark Diversion from
I've got a couple of dark diversions that I can convert into essences.
Okay,
so
then yeah, you want one because it lowers your threat reduction by 50%, which means we have 50% threat reduction, and I think this gear set is going to be as complete as I can make it without set augments. What do you think about this gear set? You think it's fine?
Yeah, I think it's all within reach too.
That was the goal, was to try to make it more in reach, because the gear sets I normally run are the complete polar opposite of in reach, but they're also better than this. But you know, when they're much harder to farm, they should be better. So gives you something to work towards the better gear set, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can always read. If I can live long enough in the role to farm the stuff for the upgrade, it's a lot more fun, you know, a better experience.
Well, I mean, do you think they're
constantly
3,000 hit points, would that be enough for you? Because it's enough for me.
3K is pretty good. Are you kidding me? I've seen chumps walk into raids with, like, 1,200. I'm like, this guy, I'm going to be carrying this stone for a while.
Mm-hmm. And you're also going to want a, from IOD, you're going to want the legendary Sword Cross Topaz for 15% double strike. And the reason you want that is because with that, with quick strike, you get double strike capped.
Yeah, I have a couple of those in my inventory.
There's more augments I can recommend, but off the top of my head, that's just the main ones. So, like, obviously, Festive Strength and the Imbue Dice augment from Hunt and False Life, I don't think is anywhere in the build. Skill augments, the usual stuff. Anyways, how many filigrees do you slots?
I have so many filigrees.
I mean, filigree slots on your weapon is what I mean.
Yeah, I have 10.
Oh, cool. Then we're gonna put in the Sucker Punch 1 against many strength rare. We're gonna put 2 of those in. The reason we're doing that is not just because it's the strength raid filigree, but because the rare of these gives 4 melee power each, and then the 2 sets that have the 2-piece give 5 melee power, meaning for 2 filigrees you get 18 melee power. And we're gonna put in Dreadbringer melee power rare. I'm putting in the rares because under the assumption that you can trade for them. I don't know if you have them, but you will probably be able to trade for them. I know people trade these things. If it's a filigree that is borderline impossible to get a rare of, I will not put it as a rare. Dreadbringer is relatively easy. Alright, so 4-piece Dreadbringer gets you 5 melee power, 10% 4 bypass, and 10 melee power. So with these 4 filigrees, you get 25 melee power. So now we're up to 278 melee power, which is still not great, but I mean, it's not great compared to like the top endgame builds, but with this not being a top endgame build, that's definitely getting there. And also gets fort bypass, so you have 112% fort bypass, which is plenty. I'm just curious, what are the DC on Roar? 117 DC on Roar is going to be fine. It's not no fail in Lamortia Reaper 10, and other than that, it's fine. So just don't run Lamortia Reaper 10 and expect it to land, and you'll be good. Alright, and to get the threat reduction to 100%, we're going to put in a Treachery Threat Reduction Rare Filigree. And then in the weapon, or I mean the artifact, we're going to put a Treachery Melee Power Rare Filigree. Because the 2-piece Treachery gives 5 melee power, so this means we get 10 more melee power. Now we're at 288. And then we're also going to put in a Long Shadow Melee Power Rare. And in the artifact, we're going to put a Long Shadow Melee Power Rare. We are also going to put in a Long Shadow Attack and Damage Rare for more hit and damage. So now you're at 303 melee power, so you've passed 300, which is kind of like my bare minimum for a build to be playable is 300. And that's coming from someone who has everything and has perfect gear sets, so the fact that you're at 300 is good, considering that this is very obviously not a perfect endgame build, but the fact that you hit 300 is very good. Also, 100% threat reduction. You will not pull aggro, most likely. Are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I just have to keep checking because I keep worrying that you cut out. Oh, you also wanna dodge augment. Forgot about that. Now you're capped on dodge. Alright, and then for my last filigree recommendations, I would actually, instead of DPS, I would probably go for Shattered Device, because your character is not going to be the top DPS character, so you might as well support the top DPS characters with Shattered Device. What Shattered Device does is it makes your attacks have a debuff that lowers an enemy's PR and MRR by 10. So this means that in raids, you're going to debuff the enemy's PR and MRR, which is good. I'm not marking these as rare because Shattered Device rare filigrees are basically impossible to get. A single Shattered Device melee power rare on Thrain is like 5,000 shards. So I'm not going to make you pay that. It's not worth it. Alright, so why is this so much higher? Well, anyways, I think that is how I would do the build. Any last questions, thoughts, concerns, prayers?
Nah, you know what? This is really great. This is helpful because what I can do now is I can plug it in, build it, run it, level it, and you know, I'll circle back to you if I find myself questioning something, or if I get a bunch of those set pieces that we talked about. You know, I'd ask, you know, what would you do different? And you know, I don't throw away raid gear on my primary, so if something drops to me from a raid, you know, my upgrade ability is going to improve over time. As long as I can stay alive and not be a complete dead weight, it's a fun game for me.
Well, I can tell you that in hard raids and old raids on Reaper 1, this build is going to do just fine. You have more than enough hit points and PR to not die in those scenarios.
Cool. What else? What have I not asked? How have I not embarrassed myself?
Believe me, even though you're the first person who's going to have a video of a build posted, it is probably not going to be even close to the worst one. I would not worry about embarrassing yourself. It's not a problem.
Okay, cool. Cool. I am overwhelmed with gratitude, man. Thank you so much. This is going to be fun.
You're
And
welcome.
you'll see me around because we're in Get Some all the time. So you'll see me leveling up.
I don't play on
Uh,
Shatterdale, I'm on Thrain. I'm just in the Discord for shits and giggles.
oh, no shit. Okay. That's right. I remember that from the migration. You moved over to Thrain.
I did.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Well, if you don't have
I
anything
see
else...
you I see you in the Discord all the time.
I am in the Discord. If you don't have anything else to say, then I will close out the video. So, if you like what you saw, let me know down below in the comments. And of course, if you have a build that you want me to review, then I will link the document below with all of the information about how to do that. Thank you all for watching, and I shall smell you later.